Oh, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. John, myself, Fox. You're on the show tonight. Is my big mucker Southside. Evening, big man.
Evening, Ox. How you doing, pal? And good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
I'm all right, mate. I've got to confess, been pretty cool, but slowly but surely, I don't know. There's a feeling coming over me. I'm feeling it.
Starting to feel it. Aye, definitely, mate. Yep, big game tomorrow against the Hearts, so you should be.
Aye, always.
But I know, looking forward to Wednesday, obviously, mate. You know, starting to build up now. Tried to sort of stay away from it a wee bit, but now it's starting to kick in, you know.
Aye, and what do you make of the build up? Obviously, we talked about it at length last night with the club. Are we getting a lot right and a lot wrong? And what do you make? Where's the team for you? Are we in a good place, bad place, or we just got to mend and get on with it? Yeah.
I think team-wise, with the team he stuck out against Ross County Ox, I thought it was a pretty strong team. I thought it got some minutes into a lot of players. I think that will be a shadow squad tomorrow compared to for that leading up to Wednesday. I had a wee look on YouTube. I've seen Stuart Robertson's interview, and I've seen the interview for Gio, but I've not seen much else, mate. I've not really thought it's been a lot of people have really spoke about it yet, to be honest. Maybe come Monday or something, there might be more, maybe in the news or something. But I think it's been a bit low key. Obviously, supporters and everybody's dashing about here, there, and everywhere, looking to how to get there and planning it out. People believing for Saturday night, Sunday onwards, but. I think it's a bit low key, if I'm honest, mate. You know, I don't think there's been a lot said about it, to be honest, apart from bits like Sky and BT at the time.
There's the cup finals in England, and then once they're finished, you know, they've got league games over the weekend, and then I think when you get to Monday, the thing will roll. I'm glad you said you listened to Stuart Robertson's interview, mate. You know me, I'm quite. I don't get upset with a lot of stuff, mate, but I just didn't like the. I don't think it was done deliberately, but I just didn't like how flippant he was with the no beam back. When I'll be honest, mate, I think there was thousands and thousands expecting it. You know.
I was expecting obviously the club to do a beam back somehow at Ibrox. I didn't see why they wouldn't do it. You know, I thought they might have had it planned provisionally, probably when we're at the semi-final stage. Do you think? I mean, I watched his interview. Do you think he get caught off guard by getting asked that question about it being back, and maybe that's why his answer was what came across? You know, do you think he was maybe caught off guard with the question, or do you think he should have expected the question? Or I would have been thinking, but the way he answered it, like you're saying, a bit flippant, and that everybody will be there and all the staff will be there. I mean, I'm sure Eintracht Frankfurt's going to have a lot of their staff there, but I'm sure
it's no apples or oranges. Their stadium's owned by the council, and the council are putting on the event, mate. Yeah.
Well, you'll not get that for Glasgow City Council, will you? You know.
But
so
what I would say, I don't know the numbers, and I don't want to call anybody as no telling us the truth, because I believe they have made a truthful statement. But if these 4 people had took COVID, did that mean we wouldn't have been able to have a game?
I know. Yes. I think
with intelligence. Yeah.
I think the board. I think the board have probably let us down twice this season, and obviously at the moment with no beam back and nothing really in place for the fans here that want to try and get together, and obviously Australia. Obviously,
there's 2 years here. There's 2 years here. I'm going to ask you a question. You can ask me the same question back, right? Yeah. Would the beam back have affected you? Would you have been gone?
No, I wouldn't have went main preference. No, I wouldn't have went.
No. Right.
But even if I was here, I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't go to the beam back at Ibrox. But that's just my choice. You know.
Aye, and it's not going to affect me neither. So, but what I'm saying is, I think there's thousands and thousands that are looking for it. Maybe supporters who can't get to Seville for various reasons, season ticket holders, My Chairs members. It was a chance to reward their loyalty, fill the stadium up. Once they've done that, then put up for general sale if there was any tickets left Southside.
Aye, I mean, I'd like to think if you were going to charge the supporters to go in, it would have been a minimum. I mean, maybe about a tenner. You know, I think you could have opened it up for nothing, to be honest, and let the fans in. But I mean, if you were going to charge something, then a tenner, and it could have been done quite quickly through emails and stuff, and activate your season book. You know, it's pretty easily done. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to fill the whole stadium up, so I don't think, depending on it. If you didn't have...
You say that Southside. Have you seen what Real Madrid have done? They've got their stadium and their big screens are in the middle in a circle.
Aye. I was going to say, if you're putting the screens on the park, then aye. But even if you were going to use them for the jumbo screens that we've got, then obviously you would need to limit it to a certain amount. But you'd think they would have put screens in the middle of the park. I just think it's an own goal for the club, mate. You know, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that they've not even considered it and used the excuse that we've not got any staff, to be honest.
Well, get other staff. Yeah, and hire them. Hire them for the day. Hire them. Get somebody to do it for you. Somebody to run the event. Buy them and and charge the tickets accordingly. No difficult. You know. I'm actually, I'll be honest with you, mate. I think it's embarrassing. I really do. But that's just my point of view. Other people.
No, I totally agree with you, mate. I mean, you could have, I don't know, if there was nothing even in the Hydro, even if you weren't going down the road to Ibrox, we could have looked at venues round about. I don't know if you could have done the exhibition centre, even if Ibrox wasn't a possibility. I don't know what's on there, but it's something that you could have been looking at and planning and saying, is there something that we could do for the fans? And you could have had some going here, there and everywhere to see it, or like you say, easiest option would have been Ibrox Stadium, but even round about the city for supporters. But it's something that the club haven't looked at, obviously. And I'll be honest, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think they'll change it this late.
No, I don't think so neither. You know, I just think it's no good way to look after your customers. You know, people who have been loyal, and I know that the people will be there who are in Spain and that. I know there'll be X amount who are there. I get that, but there'll be X amount here as well in the UK who would have loved to have went there if they had the opportunity.
Aye, there's loads of reasons why people haven't made it. It's just probably waited until last minutes, and it's the prices have just shot that bad, and obviously other reasons. But no, I mean, we're in a final of Europe, you know, and the excuse you get is we can't have screens at Ibrox because the staff's all gone away, basically, you know. There was just no forward planning or thinking about it by the sounds of it by the board. Or if there was, they should have come out earlier and said, listen guys, there'll no be this, instead of everybody that's here anticipating, waiting to see, can we get Ibrox and can we go in and celebrate together? And now you find out that it's not going to happen. So it's poor by the club, mate.
Aye. When obviously they've had an own goal, but generally I think they've done a great job. The people that's in charge of my club, what they took care and what they've built up and what they've gave us, I'm satisfied with their management skills. But sometimes the relationship between the customers, the fans, the customers, the patrons, whatever you want to call them, can be fractious because they seem to...
You take you for granted sometimes.
Aye, and they don't read the room, mate. They're not reading the room.
Aye, I mean, the board have done great things, you know, when Dave King got in and then moved on and the other directors have come in and have carried the club forward. We probably started to get on our feet, in my opinion, probably in about 2016. We've got Rangers men in the boardroom, so they should understand the mood. And if they weren't in a privileged position of where they are, and they were like us, waiting to see, can we get to Ibrox and watch the game? You know, you would think like that, you know. But obviously, it's been missed for whatever reason. They've decided not to do it. And I dare say there'll be a lot of emails going into Stuart Robertson. He's the guy that runs the club from day to day. He's the guy who gets the six figures. So, it'll probably fall on him. But sadly, mate, I just don't think anything will change. And that's disappointing.
No. All right. Before we get the phone lines open, I know I like to ask you your team near the end, but because we got a game tomorrow, I'm going to put you right on the spot. I just want your starting 11 for tomorrow's game.
Oh, here. Right, all right. I don't think, in my opinion, when I give this team, I think this is the team I would stick out, right, if possible.
Right, okay.
And I don't think, right, so I'd play McLaughlin. Right back, I would play Zukowski. I'd play Sands and King in central defence. And I'd fling in, since I've seen him in training videos, Jack Simpson at left back, or stick King at left back, put Simpson in at centre back. But that's the back four I would go with McLaughlin. Midfield, I would have Stephen Davis and the boy McCann. And then on the right, Dalio, Ramsey, Lowry. And up front, you could take your pick for either a young boy Weston or Itten.
Right. I totally agree with your logic, mate. Totally agree with your logic. Yeah?
Aye, I think Ramsey will not start on Wednesday, but he should certainly play tomorrow, and I would probably put Davis in there as well, because I don't think he'll start. And they would be the two that I would put in with most experience. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it, I would leave it as is, in my opinion, mate.
All right. Okay. Right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do, mate. We'll get these phone lines opened and we'll see where it takes us. I'm sure there might be a talk about beanbacks and the calls picking.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, I agree with your logic, mate, 100%. You can match it any way you want, but I mean, even know if I had Stephen Davis playing, mate, if I'm honest, yeah?
Aye, possibly no. Some people might even want to play Ramsey, but they might not start, but that's what I sort of looked at. Obviously, I wouldn't like to keep Davis or Ramsey on too long, but I would have put them in the team, in my opinion, and left it the way I picked it. I don't think we should risk anybody else. That's maybe some people might think play Arfield or something, but I just wouldn't risk anybody else, mate, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I get you. Anyway, we've been joined by Andy from Christchurch. How are we doing, Andy?
Not too bad, gents. Very excited for next week. I was like you, Stuart. I was a bit low key, but to be honest, I watched a wee video clip this morning, and something just tripped in my heart. I really did, and you know, I'm one of life's slightly pessimists. I'll be honest. I'm half full man, but today I'm not. I genuinely believe we're going to win that trophy. And you know, we're talking about the beanbag.
Yes.
We sing a song, Follow, every other Saturday, sorry. And in the words of that song, we sing it all the time. We gather around the Ibrox Park, 100,000 strong. Now, Ibrox is going to be shut. That's a pure disgrace. Utterly a disgrace. Ibrox Stadium should be open. My wife and kids were there in 2008. They had a fantastic time. Okay, the result didn't go in their favour, but all they need to do is basically get a team in to open the place up, set some TVs up, open some pie stalls, and have a celebration. Because when we win the trophy on Wednesday night, people are going to go to Ibrox anyway. You know, so we're going to go and the doors are going to be shut and the lights out. Because that's what Stuart Robinson's saying. You know, we're not doing in Seville, but Ibrox is going to be shut, the lights are out, or we'll see you in a few days' time. That's not acceptable. We are going to win the European UEFA Cup, Europa League, and Ibrox should be open. Simple as that.
I don't disagree, mate. I think it's an own goal for customer relations, and I think it's an own goal for marketing as well, because if you had 50,000 there on for a big party, hopefully it turns into a big party, the feel good factor's there, you get families there, you'll be selling strips, scarves, programmes, so totally. I don't get it. I really don't understand it, mate. I think it's poor. Hopefully, I just don't understand the explanation nearer, Andy. It doesn't add up to me. Yeah, no. If I'm being honest, I feel a bit insulted.
Do you know what it smacks of? It smacks of small team, a small club mentality, and that's the complete opposite of what we are as a football club. We should be a massive football club.
The rest of Europe will find that out by about, I would say, about Wednesday afternoon.
Absolutely. I cannot wait till Wednesday. I genuinely cannot wait. I'll be honest, it wouldn't have affected me. I wouldn't have been going up to Ibrox, but I lived in Scotland at the time. I was down in Manchester. My wife and kids were up in Glasgow, and I'll be honest, they said at the time, the atmosphere was good. Obviously, the result didn't go in our favour, but Ibrox was open. There was an atmosphere there, and why on earth can we not do it this time? It's beyond belief that we haven't been able to organise ourselves and say, we'll put something on. Media events teams can set up very, very quickly. If you pay them, we're going to be making lots of money out of this Europa League. Open the doors. So as I say, when we win the trophy, and everybody turns up at 2-3 in the morning at Ibrox, the lights are going to be out and the door's shut because nobody's there. That's not acceptable.
Southside.
I agree, pal. 100%. I think the club just scored a massive own goal. How can you not think about your supporters in Glasgow? And if you win it, you've surely your stadium would be opened. It's like you say, the lights will be out and the doors will be shut. Mate, that's terrific. I don't think anything will change at this late stage. Just think it's bad forward thinking for your board. And to be honest, we love the club unconditionally, and sometimes you wonder if the club love us back as much, mate.
Aye.
And sometimes I've said sometimes on here, sometimes Rangers you think don't really care about us. Some of the times the way we've went trips and the way we've been looked after or not looked after. So it's disappointing that they're not going to do something for the fans. But I'm sure in the most of the places like Lark Hall and Paisley Road and bits of Motherwell and Hamilton and all that, I'm sure it'll all be bouncing, Partick and all that, mate. If we can get that trophy on Wednesday night, But it's just sad at the moment that the club have chosen not to have any beanbag or anything like that for the supporters to get together inside the stadium. And there was a chance to make money as well.
Exactly.
You could have been walking about with strips and you could have been paying your credit card. You could have had your your programmes done and all that. There could have had stuff for the kids and that. But at this late stage, I just think it's something that we'll just have to accept. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. But the following day, because I assume they'll not fly back the very next day. I don't know. Is Ibrox going to be open then? Who's going to open the doors? If everybody's in Seville, it smacks of a small club mentality, and Rangers should be bigger than that. We should be setting standards, and that standard should be looking after our fans, because we sing about it. we boast about the fact that we're going to win a European trophy. We're all going to turn up. That's who we are as a team and as a support. So I appreciate it's not going to change. I fully understand that, but it is a disappointment, and the board need to really have a long look at themselves.
I think it's an own goal in a football term. An own goal. And it's took over the last 2 days, which I think is also quite sad when Boris Positivi's floating about, Andy.
Aye.
I'll
not dampen my atmosphere when we win it at full-time whistle, I can assure you.
It's not taking
I am so looking forward to the game. Absolutely delighted that we're in the final. I could not believe in the last 10 years that where we've come from to where we are. And I genuinely believe, and if you know me, I'm not like this. I'm a glass half empty man. We're going to win this. We genuinely are going to win this. We play the way we've been playing, we're going to win that trophy.
It's outside, didn't you come again, mate?
It's a different feeling this time, I think, for 2008. 2008, when we got out the group stages, gone to the final under Walter, we scored 5 goals to get to the final. This season, since we've come out the group stages, we've scored 16 goals. So we're a team that we feel confident that we're going into the games and we're scoring. Albeit we've done a lot of damage at Ibrox, but we've also done damage away at Dortmund. So confident that I think we're in a better place this time. I think we're a team that we all know in our heart that we might sit in for time to time, but we can hit in the break and we look like we can score. And I know we're struggling now without a natural striker, but in the last 2 games we've scored 6 goals in Europe without one. So, I don't want to be overconfident, but I think to be honest, it's 50-50. They've done really well as well. We've got to respect that.
Oh, absolutely.
I think their left winger's really good and quick on his day. And I think they've got a wee Japanese player that's supposed to be quite good. But apart from that, most of their team's probably similar to us. We've got certain players that can hurt them, like Ryan Kent. And that. So, it's 50-50 to be honest, but I think we've got a right good chance to get this trophy. I really, really do.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I was quite pleased with what Giovanni Van Bronckhorst was saying about they're going to play to their strengths. Their strengths, when you see when Rangers play on the front foot and we're attacking, that's when we can dominate a game, and you can score a couple of quick goals, and it transforms a game, utterly transforms it. If we hang back a wee bit and let them come at us, that's when I get nervous. I don't like that at all. If we're going to go and win a cup, you've got to go and win it, and you can't just wait and try and hit people on the break. We tried that down in Manchester. It didn't work. We weren't on it then. We're a different team now, and I genuinely believe if we go at it, we're going to win it. Simple as that.
I hope so, Andy. I hope so. I don't think there's any comparisons in the two teams, the way they play football.
No.
Manchester was a feat, and I'll be honest, I never thought I'd see it again, particularly with what happened in 2012. But what a place to be, and what a squad of players. They'll never be forgotten, these players, Andy.
No. You need to change your number. Your telephone number. From 1972 to 2022.
Andy, we still talk about the Barca Bears 50 years down the line.
Exactly.
You know, so it's time this squad can make themselves heroes, you know.
Absolutely. It's an anniversary year as well. You know, I mean, 150 years, something special can happen. It genuinely can. I think it's written in the stars. And I'm not like this as a person, but I think the 150 years, the way we've been playing, I think we'll get it over the line. What an achievement that will be. Unbelievable.
It'll be the biggest achievement ever.
Absolutely, in Scottish football, no problem. Absolutely no problem at all. You know, it might take some of these English people down south who completely, write off Scottish football as a pub league and all this nonsense. They were all singing and dancing about what West Ham are going to do. West Ham this, West Ham that. Yeah, West Ham are not even in the final. You know, simple as that. You know, and we have played tremendous football to get to where we are with a fraction of the budget of these other clubs, and I think the achievement would be absolutely top notch.
I agree. Particularly when you look at the backstory, Southside.
Yep.
Nah, 100%. That's what makes it even sweeter. You know, everybody that wanted Riddies and not to get to where we got to, not even to win another league title or anything. You know, but no, it's a great achievement for the club. The players that's in that squad, and I hark back to some of it because I think Gerrard moulded them into a European sort of team. I think we built on it season after season, and now Gio's come in. He's more tactically, he'll change it, whereas Stephen had never changed it. He stuck to his sort of plan, but the players are confident in Europe. They know the job they've got today. They understand how to play the system, and I think you've seen a transformation in certain players. And now I think they'll have the confidence not to have any fear about this tie. You know, I would think they're probably favourites Eintracht, and probably they should be. But no, we've got nothing to fear. We can score goals in Europe, and we've proved that. And they've done the same, to be fair. But it's on the night, and if we've got 11 players and the subs that come on playing to their maximum or near a more or less their maximum, then we'll not go for rank, definitely. We'll probably lift that trophy. But it's about what you do on the night, you know, as we know.
stay on the front foot, and I think as long as you start well and you really go at it, don't be hesitant, because I think sometimes self-confidence can eat away to you as a team. A couple of things go wrong, a few loose passes, and we don't want that. We want to be flying out the traps and really have a go at them. That's how we'll dominate a game, score a couple of goals, and we'll win it. We'll genuinely win it. I think they might score, obviously, but I don't think they're going to beat us. I genuinely don't think they're a team that, if Rangers are on the front foot, we're not going to lose 3 goals, and I think we'll at least score 2. And that's the way I would look at it.
Aye. There's not much in the betting. I'm just checking the betting notes. Southside,
Aye, there wasn't much in it. I think they're slight favourites probably, but they don't seem to have loads of big names, that we've played against in the past, but they've got 1 or 2 players, I think, that have done quite well and caused a lot of problems in Europe. So they're probably similar to us in a way that they've played. They've had some good results, so fair play to them. But hopefully, after 2008 and everything that we've went and the teams we've put out and what we've done, surely now it's our time. It's got to be our time, and I feel it's going to be. But I just don't want to say categorically we're going out here to win this, but I believe. Aye, well, do you know what? See, when you do win it, it makes you even more happier.
I know.
But it's a massive game. Come on, it's a massive game, and theirs will be shot to bits that night, But like you say, if we can go in the front foot, get a goal or even 2, and then after that, just start looking at the clock to the 90 minutes.
And control that game. That's all we need to do beyond
control that. And watch the clock. That's it.
Andy, just on your original point, was your plan to come up to go to Ibrox?
Unfortunately, no. I'll be honest, my health is not so great just now, and I know sound well, but I've got a bit of a health issue, but. And I've got a lot of family who up in Scotland who would have been going, and it's terrible, that whole situation. It really is, because as you said, I think you said it yourself, it's a bit embarrassing. Everybody else is doing stuff, and what were you doing? It's not good enough. But anyway, it is what it is. We're not going to be able to change it. We can moan and groan, but it is what it is. But it's not going to detract from the night, and I genuinely believe we are going to do it, and I'll completely forget about it then afterwards. So.
Would you go and join the Bears in Bournemouth in the supporters club?
Well, yeah, I've got some friends over there, and that's a possibility on the night. So I've got some family coming down as well, who live locally. So I'm betwixt and between, but I'll probably be with the family in the house, and put some food on, get the flags up. But my neighbours don't really support football down here. So they're not going to know all about it on Wednesday night, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a nice part of the country, mate. Nice part of the country.
It is. Anyway, chaps, I'm going to leave you to it, and all the best. And if my voice is not too hoarse, I might phone on Wednesday night afterwards.
Okay, all right, mate. Cheers.
Take care. Right now, chap.
Cheers,
mate. Right, thanks very much. Good night.
Oh, you're attracting a better class of caller tonight, Southside.
It sounds like it, aye. Man's full of positivity.
Yes.
That's the way it should be.
Yes. Christchurch.
Aye.
Nice part of the world. Right, okay, aye. I did think that there'd still be a lot of anger about this, the beanbag, but have you ever known this when we've had a game and nobody cares less, mate?
I know, it's weird. I know, it's mad, innit? I haven't even really thought about the game, to be honest, tomorrow. I'm going to the game, obviously, but it was the furthest thing from my mind, But I obviously, when tomorrow morning comes, I'll be looking forward to it. And then after that, it's time to get packed and ready to go, mate, I'm afraid, So, aye, but it seems it'll be good. I'm hoping that he changes the team quite a bit, and it'd be good to see some different players, mate. The results are material, and if he plays a lot of the young boys, it would be good to see some of them play and see what how they're doing, and for a first team perspective.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Hearts could go in a similar vein because they might be thinking about a week's time?
I think Hearts probably will. They might play maybe. I think the team I certainly picked. It's probably only got Davis and Ramsey and probably Diallo the rest of them are pretty relatively James Sands. They've not got many games, have they? So, but Hearts probably could drop a good few. You'd think they would rest some, eh? I think I've seen highlights of one of their games and they'd played. I think they played that Boyle up front, but the other boy they played on loan, I think they're keeping him for the cup final against us. So I think it will be a pretty much changed Hearts team, to be honest. I don't even think they'll play Craig Gordon against us. Fox is looking to do a pre-match show at 11:15. That's his favourite. Oh, in the morning, you'll be up early then as usual, aye. Oh, he's off grumpy when he doesn't get his full Scottish breakfast and all. It's all. But I'm sure Hurrick can't be named. Will be delivering it tomorrow. Will you know? Do you know usually get that delivered if it's a pre-match show on a Saturday? Is delivery the same as he's a nudge and going to make my breakfast? Is that the same thing? That's similar, isn't it? Aye. So he gets it delivered. Aye. And it's no delivery or just eat either. It's delivery who? Right. I can't read out what Terry said. It was a well-known female Ranger supporter. Right. I'll leave it to the imagination. Right, okay. Come and join us. Give your thoughts. Give your thoughts on the team tomorrow. Be really interested. Do you think Southside's been at the funny facts? Or do you think he's 100% right? I think you're right, Southside. I see the logic totally. I just don't see the point in playing sort of any players that you're going to start in the first team. I wouldn't risk it. There's no reason to risk it. He's gave a lot of the players, Tav and Golson, played midweek. So you give them a rest on Sunday and they'll be fully firing up for Wednesday. That's the way I would see it. But you never know. Connor's played most games, hasn't he? So, but you think surely you can make him miss Saturday. Been a massive game on this. This is the biggest game since 2008, the final, mate, that we've played. So, no, you can't chance any injuries, to be honest. And I might be wrong with Ramsey and Davis as well, but we'll see. Right, okay, so you've done that for a reason. Your bench players or they're sitting in the stand or whatever. What's your team on Wednesday night? Oh, come on. You don't even wait till after 9 o'clock. No. Oh. It'll be McGregor, Tav, Golson. I think it'll be Bassey and Borna. Lundstrom and Jack. Kent. Arfield. Oh. Right in Aribo. Similar, but I've got Kamara in there, and depending on what's happening with Ramsey, I would have Ramsey instead of Wright, mate. If he can play. I'll change. I'll take Arfield out and put Kamara in there, but I'm keeping Scott Wright on the right. All right. Okay, mate. Okay, I don't think you'll be far away, mate. I think it's possibly the team that's close to the Leipzig game. I don't think we've got a lot of options, yeah. Well, Balogun could play. It'll depend on how he sees the Eintracht Frankfurt team and how they set up. I know they usually play with a back three. Don't know if they play with two up front or no. Balogun might come in and Bassey could go to left back. We don't know, but I would have thought maybe Bassey and Borna. I think if we're trying to go in the front foot, I think you've got to try and get A2 delivering, or especially Tavin at the back post. He's scored first in just about all games at Ibrox. So he's a player that we're looking to get in danger. Question for you, mate. Is Calvin Bassey the most improved you've ever seen a player in a year? I would think so. Just off the top of our head, you're asking the question. We did have a discussion before, didn't we, at the start, when we said we didn't see Calvin Bassey probably being a centre-back. I think he lacks in heading ability. but I mean, he's done pretty well in there, and he's also played against good teams in Europe and played pretty well. So he's certainly developed massively in that year by getting a lot more game time. And he's looked good at left back, and he's looked pretty reasonable in at centre back. Still potentially could make a mistake because he's still young and learning at centre back. I think it's a wee bit harder job to pick up than it is at the left back. If you make that mistake at left back, he's only running mostly down the line. But if you're making a mistake when you're at the centre of defence, it can be costly. But I think he's come on massively. Ox, I agree. I think he's developing really well.
All right. Talking about development, we'll be good with Big Al. How we doing, big man?
Hi, I'm good, man. How are you? I'm just making my bed here.
How you doing, big man?
Getting out your bed?
I'm just good. I got out it especially for you.
Oh, thanks very much, Piggy.
Oh, cheers.
It's 5:30
you,
in
mate?
the morning here. Oh, I'm
doing?
all right, boys. I'm all right. Oh, I think I'm going to miss this game, man. My itinerary for that day. I got it through yesterday. I was hoping I was going to change, but and I've tried everything not to. But I'm good to Western Australia, and I fly up to a mine on that morning. But the looks of it, I'll be in the air when the game's on.
Like the morning's game or Wednesday's game?
Wednesday's game. If I could, I pushed the joke back a week. I couldn't phone up and push it back any longer.
Right, so
Well,
we need to get somebody to super glue herself to the runway or something, get the flight postponed.
Well, I've got things going through my head here.
Mix up in the paperwork.
Aye. There's a mix up in the paperwork anyway, I think. But no. Apart from
you don't sound too good. How's your taste and smell?
Oh, I know I thought of that, but no, I can't do that. That was the first thing that came into my head. That was the first thing. I start coughing and all that. No. Anyway, I was really on the phone to say to you guys, I'm really pleased for these. I'm really pleased for you, Southside, that you're beginning out to Seville and coming back with a UEFA Cup. I'm really pleased for you, Ox, that you're beginning to Seville and you'll be coming back with a dose of the clap and the UEFA Cup.
You got that one right, Ox.
I'm so pleased for you guys. I'm so pleased for the fans. There's a wee bit of negativity creeped in for yesterday in regards to that beanbag thing and all that. So I'll leave that. That is pretty bad, but it is what it is. I'm sure the Bears all around the world will have their places and we'll all be together as one joyous, happy team, platoon, squad, whatever it is, 90 minutes later.
You've been coming on this show. I would say, I'm having a guess here, it must be about 6 years.
5, 6 years or something like that.
Aye. You know, and it's not as if we're all glory hunters, you know.
No, I found you on a bus. I was sitting on a bus, doing a wee job close to home, and I jumped on the bus that morning. I said, who's these characters? And for that day, I've never looked back. I know, I don't think we're glory hunters, but we've got a level of expectation that...
Yeah, that's a different thing, mate. That's a different thing. But how, being an expat and being on the other side of the world, it must maybe even more pride, if that makes any sense.
Aye. No, this week I spoke to a lot of boys. There's a lot of boys here from all the world, all follow football. They all know about football. So they've all been saying to me. I've met another couple of English boys this week. They're my wee mate. He's a wee Leeds fan. He's over the moon that we're there as well. Like. Ramming it up to Scottish football, ramming it up to who, but he's really pleased for Rangers. Everybody else, I worked with a few Chilean boys. They're right into their football. They all know about it. They watch football 24/7. I love football, but I only really watch Rangers. You know what I mean? I didn't take an interest in much else. But I watched Rangers. In fact, in saying that, I took the kids to the game last week at the Central Coast Mariners. I was talking to wee Cummins again. Me and him are best of buds. He scored a cracker, and he was talking about the game. You know what I mean? So the word is out there. We just make sure we come home. We leave nothing on the pitch. And I'm talking about Frankfurt's legs and everything, because I think we made a mistake in Manchester. I felt I was there. I was in the ground. I just felt when I left the ground that I'm not sure the team like us. But I think there's more than one way winning a football match. You know what I mean? And you're only there. You're there for 90 minutes, man. I think you take everything. And if you're unsuccessful, at least you gave it a good go. You know what I mean? And however we won it. I'm really confident. I think Southside sounds like he's a bit of a superstitious guy, just with a few things he said this morning. I'm not really superstitious myself, but I can't in my lifetime see us getting to two European, just a low average, European final.
I'm no one for being out secrets, as you know, Al, but he doesn't change his underpants to be getting knocked out of Europe.
That's what I've been known. I've been known big man since Dortmund.
The moths have ate them right off you.
No, well, see, the thing is, a big gal, 2008, right? As I don't.
How old were you, Southside?
Oh, come on, live radio, you come on, right?
So you're not a woman.
No, it doesn't matter. Well, how do you know? I could be into one to be today.
I'm 46.
Well, I'm older than you.
Does you sound younger?
Thanks for that. I know I get told that all the time, mate. I get told that all the time.
Thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger.
Even when they meet me, big gal, and they go, "What? Really?" I say, "Aye," and they go, when I put you at that age." I said, "I know." Anyway, see, 2008, big gal.
Yes.
Right. We only, I don't know if you heard earlier, right? Getting after the group stages, you seen the team that we had and the way we were playing. We scored 5 goals to the final, right? And we went to the final. We didn't do ourselves justice. As soon as the final whistle went, I was straight out the stadium, right? I was gutted, right? Just straight out the ground. And I had thought about it later, thinking that should have stayed and applauded and all that. But I was just gutted, and it was just, I really thought although they had good players, I still thought we could beat them. This time, we've scored a lot of goals, big Al, leading up to this final, and we look like
prepared this time.
And we look like we can score. You know, they're a decent team. Don't get us wrong, but I'm just hoping that this time it is our time. This time now, and so I'm hoping that we will do it. We've got a great chance. Ideally, we're not playing with a striker, but it's galvanised probably the rest of the players that have come into the squad, and we've seen players scoring, and it's not really affected us. So we're in the final on merit, and I'm really looking forward to it now. As it's starting to build up big, you know. I never thought I would probably get to another final as quick. 14 years later, we're in another final, you know.
Well, see, at the time, I was living down in Wales, and I was actually working. I was working with a wee boy. What was his name again? He was from Motherwell anyway. He's a Rangers fan, but he didn't travel up to the game. And then I came back the next game day, and I was sitting there having my piece, and he said to me, "What's the matter, big man?" I said, "What's the matter?" I says, "We lost a thing." And I always remember him sitting across the table, and he said to me, he says, "Don't worry," he says, "we'll get there again." But he never said it flippantly. He said it seriously. You know that way somebody's staring you in the eye and saying it. I'm like, "Don't talk shite, man," because I never thought it would happen. Well, I apologise to that guy. At his hand, and I think this time we're coming back with that trophy to Glasgow. I think our name's written all over it, So, and I think the team have proved that they can go there and lift it. They've had a bit of, but they've went through quite a bit of, I don't know, adversarial things this season and that. But the vibe is kind of bounced back. And I think we've still got it in us to bounce back again if something happens. I don't think Frankfurt are want to play us. We're the foreign team. We're the big boys, if you like. And I really like the fact that now we've built up a pedigree, a European pedigree. We've done that over the last 3 seasons. So I think it'll be a lovely day in Seville. I think the weather looks like it's going to be good. The they'll coin a new phrase, the Seville Oranges, or whatever it is, like, you know what I mean? So aye, planes, trains, automobiles, get yourself there safe, boys, and bring back the cup.
You're here, mate. You're here. Obviously, the Manchester one, I finished one of my exams at school. And
aye, so you did.
But were you a mature student?
Aye, very mature, Al.
Yeah, boom.
But
how many finals have you seen, Ox?
This is my second one. I'm not that old, Al, if you don't mind.
Were you not in Barcelona?
No, nowhere near it, mate. Nowhere near it.
No.
I thought you would have been. Call yourself a Rangers fan?
No. Nowhere near it.
So what's your travel plans? When are you arriving?
Sunday, I'm leaving Sunday, mate. I'm leaving Sunday.
And you straight into Seville, or you heading into your Milan apartment and flying from Milan private jet in the morning of the game? What's your
Malaga, mate. Malaga.
Oh, your holiday home?
Aye, I've got a villa there.
Good man. What about yourself, Southside?
We're flying into the Rock, mate, and staying there for a week.
Oh, good.
And just going down on the Wednesday, private transport down the game on the Wednesday, and then we'll come back and stay back at Gibraltar to the Friday, mate.
Good man. Good. Excellent. And
back
Big
for the cup
Stephen,
final.
Is there anybody going any unusual way? Or I see that boy, he's left a few days ago in the lawnmower. That's a belter, that. That's a topper. That's a topper, that one.
Oh dear, mental, innit? Mental. A couple of my mates, they're flying to Tenerife on Tuesday, then flying somewhere in Spain Wednesday morning, then flying to Seville after that flight, internal flights, and then flying back to Tenerife on Friday to fly in.
But that's part of the enjoyment, like getting out and about, meeting the Bears. Because I remember jumping on that train that time down in Wales. I just got the train up to Manchester. It took, 6 hours or something. And as we left Milford Haven, and we got to Carmarthen, a couple of boys got on. We got to Swansea, a few more boys got on. We got to Cardiff, a few more boys got on. And it's gone up through Hereford and all that. A load of boys got on, and then up towards Manchester, you seen the cars and the flags, and then I remember getting off at, is it Piccadilly in Manchester, eh?
Aye. Piccadilly,
I remember getting off there. Jesus, it was a blue heaven, man. I remember standing on the handrail just to get a camera phone or whatever at the time, and I remember standing up there and just looking down as far as you could see. It was just red, white and blue. Brilliant. Great feeling. One of the greatest feelings of my life. Seeing that.
I don't think we've ever been amongst as many Rangers supporters in the one day as that Southside, have we?
No, mate, not at all. I did see a loads of people that haven't even been at Ibrox, but they were going down for the party and that. So there was loads of people. Place was absolutely rammed. Even when I get in the stadium, mate, I didn't even know anybody round about me. You know, that's the sort of sad thing. You know, it comes to when you get the tickets, you end up with everybody that you're going to the games. I know probably come a final, most people will do the usual, just go and sit where you want. That's the usual, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that. But usually in the final, you were split up at Manchester, definitely. You know, it was just people you've travelled with all the time. You'd hope that you'd probably get seats beside them, but it didn't happen like that, and it's similar this time as well.
I mean, I don't know what the answer is with these UEFA tournaments, Al. What do you think? A 40,000 stadium, does it seem logical?
Well, no, it doesn't seem logical, but you could take a couple of Diddy teams, you know what I mean? It's just, we're a behemoth, like, so we're in the final, we want more tickets, move it to another ground or whatever, like, they've picked a ground, it is what it is, isn't it? You could hold it in 100,000 state, you could take it to the American or I don't know, what's the biggest stadium in Europe?
Biggest, Wembley.
Oh, Well, imagine taking it to Wembley then. But unfortunately, they didn't. It's is the new Wembley had a Champions League final yet?
Aye.
It has.
Aye, Man United get beat there, didn't they? With Barcelona and.
It has.
I think Seville. I think Seville was meant to be the year before. I think because of COVID and that.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they had it last year, but I think that's how they've given them it this year.
But is the fan zone over there known a bigger stadium than the actual game?
Sold out. We're just getting information that's sold out.
I go.
I've got 60,000 here.
Mm-hmm. It's sold out. On your side.
I've been informed to check my emails, but I've not had a chance yet. Seemingly, I believe the fan zone for the people with tickets are going to be put into one section, and it's going to be fans with no tickets are going into a section with screens. But I have to check my email, but seemingly that's what they're going to do, so you'll not get in unless you've got that ticket to go to the game. So when they're wanting to move us together or whenever, you'll be able to go, and there'll only be, seemingly supposedly this is what their plan will be, as many as 9,500 fan zoned ready to go to the stadium, and the rest will be in another fan zone. But I've not had a chance to check my email, but I believe that's what's I have to look at, and I think that's what they're trying to put in place, or they have put in place.
According to Young GB, there was 60,000 tickets on sale a couple of years ago, and they're all sold out now.
Right.
I mean, UEFA have come to the party, haven't they, in regards to helping the fans out, knowing there's going to be a high demand because they're such a big club. So they've done it, but I don't think we can hold anything against them. I just don't think they were expecting such a big club. And I believe Frankfurt are a well-supported club as well. I mean, just for talking sake, Dortmund got to the final. Well, you would have thought there was a chance that they could have got to the final. I think everybody was thinking before it they were probably the favourites when they got into the tournament. So maybe it's a wee bit remiss of UEFA holding it in such a small stadium. Should have went for a bigger stadium. But I think UEFA's came to the party in regards to try to help us out. What's your estimate travelling fans? What do you think is going to be?
I think that's very, very difficult, mate, because I'm flying for pretty much one of the furthest south airports in the UK, and not quite, but one of them. So I'll not know how many bears are on that flight till I get there. And that'll start giving you, who knows?
Aye, an indication.
Aye.
Aye. It's good. It's good for the Bears. Like, yeah, and you might not get the kind of element that like I'm not saying that let us done the last time, and I'm not want to be negative, but there was a certain element there that too much drink, too much English, didn't take much to put them over the edge. Yeah, I think it might not be like that this time. It's sombreros and beach balls, you know what I mean? Party atmosphere. And I think also by winning it helps it in the long run. What's kind of planned for when we bring it back?
I don't think they're opening the stadium to July, but it sounds like, because these four guys are going on holiday.
4 bodies, aye.
I think it starts. In round about Ibrox and heads out into the town. Up round the Gala Gate and that, up by the barracks.
Don't take it up there. They'll try and snaffle and put it in cash converters, man, for a smack.
Well, I think if they're doing it should get granted if we come back with the trophy. Then I don't see why not. Because you can't not celebrate that historical moment for Glasgow.
Who would you say is our closest ally in football? In Scotland.
In Scotland?
Oh.
Well, historically, it's Dead Hearts. Dead Hearts.
Because I think another club. I was
probably Airdrie, I know.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Airdrie.
Airdrie.
Airdrie's missed a wee because I think one of the Highland League teams is doing a beanbag thing. think it's only in their wee club, but they put out a wee notice thing. Airdrie, there you go, Airdrie. Next couple of days, set up a screen on the hangway and say we've got a beam back of the UEFA Cup final and get everyone up there and make a wee bob or two. Just get Airdrie Combat 18 to be the security for it. Well, everybody will be fine.
It's going to be a bone of contention for a couple of days. People, I think they're right to be annoyed at. I really do. I think it's embarrassing.
Aye, as they've missed a trick. Like, who's the Mr. Bicegrove here? He must have been lobbying the board to say, come on, and then we'll do commemorative strips for Castor, and you can't get in unless you've spent 50 quid in the club shop and put the pies up $2 and the drinks up. Aye, they could have made some amount of cash with it and kept everybody happy. Yeah, I think you saw the guy on the other night there was thinking about taking his grandkids, and there maybe no Rangers fans, but they go for the experience. It allows them to get a taste of Ibrox. They'll think about it in the future. It helps them embed in as Rangers fans. It's a nice thing for people to do with their families, to go to that, have a nice evening, watch Rangers lift the cup, part of the atmosphere, hang about there till the flight comes back, and see the cup getting paraded. And you've got 40,000, 50,000 fans in the stadium waiting for the cup to come home. I think it all makes sense. Whoever hasn't done anything about this is not been doing a proper duty, I don't think. But that is what it is.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, fact Ibrox is actually bigger than the stadium where it's the finals getting held.
Here's another question I was going to ask you. I watched the game the other day. How did you think? I'll give you my assessment. How do you think Lowry done just for moving forward? My assessment is done all right in the second half. In the first half, second half, he went off the boil a bit, kind of short and sweet. I was just wondering, because I know we've discussed it and we've spoke about it. I was just wondering how you felt about it.
So saying,
Big Al, we have spoke about it. I watched him. When he was off the ball, and we were looking to see what he was doing, and he had some nice wee touches. He put a good pass in for Tav for the penalty. I just think he's got a wee bit to grow in stature, physicality. So, as we've spoken about before, if you're wanting him to come into the Rangers team and try, well, some people say he should be starting, then you're asking him to start playing Thursdays, Saturdays, or Sundays, Thursdays. So you're talking about 3 games a week, because that's roughly what we play when we get going. He's not ready for that yet, but I'd like to think that he'll push himself in the squad for next season once Gio sets a squad out. I'd like to think he'll be in a bit it. Big Al, I'd like to think you could maybe even get him some maybe league time, but I don't think he's a starter or anything like that. I think the boy King as well, I'd like to keep him about the squad and see if we can develop him into getting some more first team games. The same boat as Lowry, although he's a bit more physical. Different position as well. So the boy Hank's got a right good chance, but he's still young. So I think between the two of them, Big Al, it's two I'd like to see try and kick on. I know there's a few around about it, but physically in that, you need to be more physical in that. And like you said, he fell off it a wee bit. But I watched him see if he made runs or looked for the ball more, and he did. He looked interested in the first half, but it's a lot to play week in, week out, at his age and the physicality he's at the moment.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Right, lads, get yourself. I'll give you my opinion after the tune now, if you don't mind, gentlemen. Get yourself this is the popular demand of Old School Blue. We're going to have a tune.
You've heard of Rangers, the famous Glasgow Rangers, a team of giants who come from Ibrox Park. They've won honours from Russia to Australia, but now at Hampden they're gonna make that mark. The Scottish Cup will soon be in their hands. John Wallace, the proudest in the land, and the Blues are gonna win the cup. boys will run amok. Viva El Rangers, and with every single goal they score. Viva El Rangers, we'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers, we are the people and there's really no denying that they've been trying to put us out the cup. With men like Greg and Fearless and Jardine, saying it has been impossible to stop. The skills of Miller, Forsyth and McKean, they'll need a hurricane to stop our team. And the Blues are gonna win the cup. Viva El Rangers, we know the boys will run amok. Viva El Rangers, and with every single goal they score. Viva El Rangers, we'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers, ball. There'll be Tommy, Colin, Jackson and Big Peter. He's got hands to stop an avalanche. Johnson, Derry, Palin and McDonald. It's a doddle for Wallace and the boys. The chant of easy, easy from the fans. The chant are really gonna get into them. And the Blues are gonna win the cup. Viva El Rangers, we know the boys will run amok. Viva El Rangers, and with every single goal they score. Viva El Rangers, we'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers, ball, ball. La 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 la. Viva El Rangers. La 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 la. Viva El Rangers. La 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 la. Viva El Rangers, we'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers, ball, ball, ball. Rangers!
Well, the next time you're at Ibrox, won't you come and have a look? Stand beside John Lundstrom and have your photo took. Then put it on your mantelpiece or hang it in the hall, so that all the world can see John Lundstrom's on the ball. John Lundstrom's on the ball. John Lundstrom's on the ball. He slips inside, he floats out wide, he'll take on them all. There's millions come to see him, they stand they gaze in awe. From minutes 1 to 90, John Lundstrom's on the ball.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hope our old school blue enjoyed that. They're both back, gents.
Yep.
Yes. Was that Alex Kelly singing?
Maybe.
Come on, Big Al. Come on.
There's another song on here that sounds like one of yous. I can't remember what one it is. I think it was GB. Does GB sing one of them?
No.
No. It sounds like him.
No. I'll give you my thoughts on Lowry, mate.
Aye.
A real top. He's got top vision, mate. He tries to make things happen. I watched him closely because there wasn't anything really at stake in the game, but I wasn't at the game to see him in the movement, the same as Southside would see live. I thought he disappeared at times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he starts to learn his trade even more, he become a better player. He's about 6 foot. Didn't realise that. The boy falls out a wee bit. They'll not get knocked off the ball. And we'll see how he gets on. I think he's got a real good chance now.
No. Oh, no, look, the two, that was the reason I was much the same as yourself, folks. I was sitting watching it and I get to good eye on him because I have been try to promote the young guy in youth. But I think both the 2 year statements there, both combined, are very good analysis of the young guy. Personally, I'm not too worried about the filling out bit. I think he's a young man. Young men are strong, but that will come. He'll get stronger. His vision, yes, the ball, but I just felt the second half he kind of went a wee bit anonymous. But apart from that, look, it all looks good for the future. That's really what I think. We can all say that quite confidently, and I'm waiting for the day that he does progress into the first team and he shows us what he can do, like the young boy.
I think you could see a massive improvement with the two boys between now and say September, mate. You know, a pre-season, understanding, physicality, they get a bit more older. You know, they can
you
move
see
on
that.
quite
You see
quickly.
that with young boys. They're in an environment where other people that rubs off on them. Like, as long as they're paying, keep their mouth shut, arse up, ears, and keep their ears open. Like, absorb everything they're getting at training and that. Yeah, I think we've got a couple of good ones there.
Aye, potentially. I like the Boyd King as well. Anyway, talking about people we like, we couldn't find any. So Andy Felix has joined us. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, that's what I love about coming on here. The fondness you've got for it is unbelievable. Lowry, yeah, well, you know what I think about Lowry, right enough. By the way, have you two got tickets for the game?
Maybe. Maybe his eyes, maybe his nose.
Yeah. Not disclosing, no.
Maybe his eyes, maybe his nose.
Right, okay. Right. Yeah, I thought Lowry had a good game there, right enough, you know. And I like that. What I liked more about him was his interview after, where he said, well, he knew he made a couple of mistakes and, you know, I'll improve on it. I think he's got good people behind him. I think Gio's fond of him. I think he's going forward. I think he'll be good. The boy King, like he said on Sunday there, yeah, I think he could slot into that Rangers team at any time. That's a bold statement, right enough, but I've got no problems with that guy. I think he's a great player.
I think we'll definitely see him tomorrow, mate, and we'll be able to judge him a wee bit more. Yeah,
definitely. I think majority of the B team, you know, especially the special ones that they're saying is in the team, I think they'll play tomorrow, to be honest with you. For me, like, I know we get the European game, like, but every game that Rangers go out and play, it matters to me. Like, you know, I still want to see us go out there, put in a performance and win, you know.
Aye, but there's logic. Did you hear Southside's team?
I did, aye.
What was your
Don't
thought?
ask for one. I'm not sure. I think the back four picks itself.
Like tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Oh, right. I thought he was talking about Wednesday. No, tomorrow. I think he'll go more or less the B team, right enough.
Right, okay. All right, okay. Are you all right, Andy?
I'm fine. I'm just having a few drinks here, right enough.
I'm
good.
Empty.
Oh, all my ladies are away. Got nothing to eat, right enough. I was going to go get a fish supper, but it's Friday, isn't it?
I'm also hearing rumours that people are starting sending food to your house. So
yeah, that is good. I put in a little box there, but I'm not that bad, right enough. The vodka's kicking in now, so I'm not that hungry now.
Eat the olives on it. Make a martini.
Aye. I was all right. I found the bloody hot pot, right enough. Christ, 4 tortillas and 1 slice of meat, mate. Jesus Christ. I was more hungry when I finished it.
a cocktail for him's ice in his vodka.
A cocktail, I thought he was going to put the vodka in the hot pot. 4 tortillas.
Put some beef. Aye. I'm all right. I'll find somebody right enough. But she had to rush off right enough. She usually sorts all that out for me. And then I found a letter and a wee note there saying, "Will you get the washing in?" She's at it.
Well, you've got Southside. He's got grounds there, isn't he?
How big's the washing line, Andy?
I hope she don't come back. It's still on the washing line. Put it that way.
It's how high is the washing line? Should be where the point Southside.
I was thinking that.
Aye, well, that wee picture you put up, that was so-called me. I can't reach it. It's too high, like you say.
Take it you bring your washing in your hat, Andy.
Well, I left theirs out there. I just brought my Rangers stuff in, to be honest with you.
But didn't believe it out all night, man. Can't do that. I'm a good guy, mate. I do as I'm told.
Oh dear. Right, are you starting to feel it, Andy?
Yeah, well, I was talking to Shugs this morning, like, I think the discussion that you had last night about the way the threat is right enough. I don't think there's much to add to that. I think everybody's right what they're saying. Everybody's on the same page. Terrible, really. Absolutely shocking, really. But am I surprised? No, because we were told, weren't we, at the start of the season, Flag Day and all that, right, get your son down early, it's going to be a great day. And they give you an absolute crap display, with the game of Livingston. And then the Australian debacle, and then that one, that I cannot get my head round. But you've all said that there's no point going on. I mean, it's all about the Rangers and getting a result there on Wednesday night. We have to have these custodians for the club. At this current moment in time, I don't think they care one iota about any of us Rangers fans. The goal's getting far too wide between us and the board. But it's always been about the Rangers on the park, isn't it? But something needs to be done about these guys, but not now. But we'll see. They've scored 2 or 3 bad own goals for me, but that's just the way it is. But feeling it, yeah. Well, I think it'll be another second time that's coming right enough, and it's massive for us, isn't it? Big week, 2 cup finals. Could be an absolutely great season right enough. Hopefully, I think I've got no vibes right enough, but I'm not in a camp like Andy early doors there. I will definitely win it. This is a 50-50 game, but I do think that things are aligning for us 50 years. All that stuff, I think if we go out and play, I think we'll be okay.
I think, going back to the board issue, I'll take this to the 2 chaps. There's a lot of ticks, a lot of yes, well done, but there's a few must do better, and it's. I think it was Albert said they've not read the room, and I think that sums it up. Southside.
Aye, 100%, Ox. I think we said earlier, and I said earlier, probably 3 blips, Andy. I've thought that they've done. I mean, they've come in and they've had to rebuild the club, and they've done well by everything that they've done up to a point. But the 3 blips that they've made, and this is the 3rd one, and it's just a pity that they didn't read the mood. And as I've said, the Rangers supporting directors, the vast majority of them. And if they weren't privileged enough to sit on the board and they were one of us just ordinary in the street, probably some of them would go to Seville. But if they couldn't, they'd like to probably have went to Ibrox and watched it on a beanbag. You must think that you'd want to show your customers and your supporters something back. And they've obviously not thought about it, Andy, and I think it's just too late in the day now to change it.
Well, you see, in modern time, though, that's just ridiculous, because when we played Leeds down here in 68, 69, they beamed it back to Ibrox then. In the old days, are you telling me they can't set that up in the more modern technology and putting people in there now? That's just not on. I've never liked that. Listen, that Shugs is calm, right? Mention that Robinson's name to Shugs, and you want to see he's not liked him from day one. There's something don't sit right with that guy with me. And if you speak to Shugs about it, he goes absolutely nuts about him. And he's as calm as a cucumber as that boy.
Big Al.
Okay, there's not much you can add to it. Like, we're no party to what goes on behind the scenes, but they've dropped the ball here in regards to that. I just thought that would have been a given, and then they come out and say it's not happening, and you're like, all right, okay. Well, I'm kind of a bit dumbfounded. Not like me, but I think he's well covered it. I just. Sometimes I feel as if I'm a wee bit negative in regards to things running about Rangers, but I didn't want to be negative this week. I'm really looking forward for all the Bears going out to Seville and bringing back that cup. Like, can I ask Andy a wee question?
Hi.
Take it back to the football. Andy, good to hear your dulcet tones, buddy.
And you, my friend.
Oh, lovely. You try to groom me. Stop it.
I'm pretty good at that.
How do you think Ryan Jack will perform, and how important is he going to be to this game? The reason I'm asking is, the reason I'm asking you this is I think the past couple of games, I think he's been a wee bit quiet. He's not been.
If you've listened last 2 or 3 times I've been on, I've had major concerns. I think he's been playing with an injury for weeks. He's had 2 or 3 good games when he come back. He's done nothing really. So I think he's very important because I think he calms Big John Lindstrom down, doesn't he? And even when he's on and he's not playing well, we seem to be in charge of the game to when he goes off, and then we seem to lose our shape a wee bit. I don't know if that's just me seeing it through Jack eyes right enough, but I just think he does a lot. He's about all the pack all the time. He's there. It's just the little things he did, and that big tackle he put on there in that semi there. I think that was the one that injured him a wee bit more there. I don't think he's been right, Big Al. No.
The tackle you're talking about when he tracked back and tackled.
That tackle he put on there. I think that worsened the wee bit of injury that I thought he had. To be honest with you, I think he's playing with an injury.
He is. Well, if he's playing with an injury, but he is fit for the game, isn't he? Because I personally, I don't want to take the field without him and Big John Lundstrom. Yeah,
that would be a big loss if Jack's not in it. I mean, I think Big John's just made his. I'm actually calling him by his name now. He's actually
Big John.
He's actually made the grade now.
Anyway, we'll be joined by Peter. Evening, Peter.
All right, how you all doing?
Hi, mate. You?
Evening.
Yeah, buzzing for next week. Obviously, got a game to get out of the way tomorrow first. Hopefully, the boys come in and do well. Like your young Lowry, and hopefully King comes in again. It's just keeping them ticking over for next week, innit? In case we need anybody.
Would you think the team will be tomorrow? Do you think it will be Southside's team, vast majority B team players?
Yeah, I think that of both boys who need minutes. I think Ramsey and that might come in. He needs the minutes, doesn't he? He needs the minutes more than most of the guys in there because he was rather rusty last weekend. But got good 72 minutes in him last week. But I think Lowry, King, maybe Devine might come in. But I don't know what's happened to Zorowski. I mean, he was supposed to come in as Tars understudy, and he's not been in any of the squads in the league recently. Yeah, but not a makeshift team, but a few boys in them all just get minutes and the legs keep them ticking over.
Southside.
Zakowski, boy from Poland. I had him. I thought he might play tomorrow. But like I say, I had Sands and King, and I even put Jack Simpson in. Seen about training, so I thought, how no? The only two I had in, really, like you were saying there, Peter, was Davis and Ramsey. Diallo. That was the only 3 I sort of stuck in my team. I had McCann and Lowry and either Itten or Weston up front, so I kept it like that. I don't think any players, we should risk any players at all that are going to feature or certainly start on Wednesday.
So the team's picked for Wednesday. There's nobody can edge a place in there the last 2 games.
I don't think it would matter if he scored a hat-trick tomorrow, mate.
I was just thinking, Itten, he scores 5.
I don't think it would matter.
Who's up front? Diallo, Itten, Namora, and Sakala. Because Sakala will be involved in the game on Wednesday at some point, won't he? I'd like to see him get a couple of goals. Tomorrow, or today, sorry.
He's an infectious player fashion. Interesting. I'll be interested to see what the lineup is tomorrow. Peter, what do you think?
What do you think Hearts' outlook on this? Have they got anything to play for, or do you think they'll make it easy for us?
Nothing changes for them at all, mate.
Right. So are we looking for a bit of a favour, but they know. We were saying earlier there was certain links previously. I'm not a big fan of Hearts actually because I thought they were quite vocal when we were doing the dumps. But do you think they'll make it easy for us? But they'll not be going flying in with crazy tackles like that because Nielsen, he's a blue nose, isn't he? You've got Halliday there, Barry Mackay. You know what I mean? Because we really want to come out the game if we have got first-team players playing in that. McLaughlin, he's in goal today as well.
That's what Southside's got, McLaughlin in goal.
What about Big McCrory? Would you not want Big McCrory in there to give him a wee bit of game time, but also just in case we need to use McLaughlin?
I just thought McGregor got the game time on the Wednesday, and I thought McLaughlin would get the game time tomorrow. Just
to give him game time for the final.
Aye. Potentially, Big Al. Potentially, this is a massive game, right? If we win this, right, you're getting about £7 or £8 million just for winning it. And then we need to book flights to Finland for the Super Cup. And potentially you're going to get a windfall for getting to the Super Cup. I think they're saying roughly about £3.5 million. So, but for us to win that, we're going into pot 1 in the Champions League. So, think of the potential carrot. It sits awaiting what falls us winning this. So, for me, you don't risk any players at all.
Cool.
I know I've added Davis in there, but I don't think he'll start, and I put Ramsey in, and I've got Diallo. They're 3 players that possibly could play a part at some point, maybe in the game. You never know. But for me,
how about Arfield?
I left him out because I think he's potentially, after 11, he could be close at some point of coming on and that, and Davis could be the same. But I've just put A2 in because I think Ramsey needs some game time, but that's all. But this is a potential massive game. If we win this, potentially what we get afterwards is phenomenal. So, but first and foremost, we want to win it because it's our time, hopefully, and we've done enough and beaten enough teams. So hopefully we can do one more against Eintracht and we'll get it.
Do you think Ramsey will feature on Wednesday? I don't think he will. I don't think we've needed him.
What makes me think he'll start is if he is fit, because he went with him in the semi-final. That's my only logic behind if I was saying Ramsey would come in. Because
if we never had a Ramsey, you wouldn't miss him, would you?
Well, we haven't, mate. We've not had a Ramsey, have we?
Andy? That's what I mean, and I don't
know. I'd start him from the bench if we need him right enough. I'm not so sure. I think a physical game, which it'll be, I'm not so sure he could stand up with the riggers. I don't think he's had enough game time. So I'll possibly have him on the bench right enough, you know. But like you said, that's a good point. Never thought about that. He did start him in the semi, didn't he? So, yeah, that's if he's thinking right enough. It could happen right enough. Like whoever goes out on that 11 that starts out there and the subs that are going to come on, just leave everything on the pack and hopefully we'll come back with what we want. That's how I'm saying it, you know. I'm getting it.
With somebody else. Peter?
Just basically what the boys are saying. Basically the same. Ramsey, what a player to bring off the bench in the final, though. He's been there, just like Davis and McGregor. He was last day with Arsenal. I know he's not the same player, Ramsey. He's just not got enough minutes in his legs. So I'd start him on the bench. But what a player to bring on, you know, in the final on Wednesday. Could lift the players, could maybe do one bit of magic that we're all hoping for. Could provide the winner.
Aye.
I hope before we ever need to bring him on the park, if he does come on the park, the trophy's in the bag, you know what I mean? Because I'm not too sure I could rely on him to change the game for us. That makes sense. I think we've got players there with the starting team. I have slight reservations with 2 or 3 of them, but I think they know what it's all about, and I think they can. I think they can do that last 100 metres and lift the cup. So I'm not too sure about bringing on a Ramsey, or if he comes on, it would be. We're already there, if you know what I mean.
Anyway, we've been joined by 8K. Evening, 8K.
Good evening, boys. We doing all right?
Good, mate.
Good, Alex.
Evening.
A wee bright up song just for Andy. Ooh, baby, do you know that song? John Lundstrom is the best on earth. The silky scouser is just what we need. He's gonna win us a Europa League. There you go, Andy boy.
Right, Chins, tell him the truth. That wasn't you that was singing that song, was it?
Oh, well, Rangers Radio pay me royalties every time Terry plays that.
Maybe he's is. Maybe he's not.
Terry's coming for you because that's not you.
Nice to hear you on Southside, Big Al, Peter, Ox and Andy.
Cheers, mate. What's on your mind? Apart from noise,
I'm just buzzing. Looking forward to the game. I've been feed off the last couple of days, but you've covered it well, all the viewpoints, Ox. So well said, and well said, Andy, earlier on. It just takes away. I don't know what this board is thinking sometimes. I really don't. The biggest week in our recent history, and they're coming out with that rubbish, you know what I mean? So, it's all about the team now, isn't it? We want to focus on the team and the game.
Aye, mate. I think we're on a similar vein, you know, as far as people who would have liked to win the Ibrox. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
They've not get the opportunity.
Yep. I would have went myself. I was kind of hanging off to go with my boys.
You've no mates.
That tells you a lot. My pals down in Leeds, you can't get any further away from me.
We can start writing to me, Andy, and we could be pen pals.
Carry on,
so I was what asked Big Al there. He said he was 46 earlier. He sounds a lot older than that because I'm 46. But
I'm not having that. I met both of you, and I was a schoolboy compared to you.
I'll use the old adage, 40-16.
I know. That Andy would have you believe that.
Pen pal thing. Cancel that pen pal thing.
Oh, we're cool, Biggie. Listen, you were talking about Alex Lowry earlier. You're from my era. I think Alex Lowry looks like a very young Ian Duran to fill out. What do you think, Biggie?
No, I'm not. No, I think Ian Duran was a bit more sprightly, a bit more direct, but more skillful running with the ball. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Who does Lowry remind me of? I don't know. A young ox at the five-a-sides.
A true thing. Many a true word said in jest, mate.
But I'm not 100% sure who. I think he is quite an individual, and I like that about players. And he's young. I hope he becomes he obviously has to become his own man, but I'm not 100% sure who.
He's no go with Duran. Duran had that sixth sense,
drive and attack.
I get in the box. Lowry's better creator. Would that be fair, Southside?
He's not his level yet, but to me, he's got like a Hadji about him. He's got vision. He's forward thinking. He's got an eye for a goal and probably will score in time. So I think he's got like that in his locker going forward. Obviously, like I say, it'll be hard for him to play regulars of games like three times a week when we start to kick into the real season. But I think he's going to be part of Gio's squad, hopefully going forward next season, and there'll be a chance for him to try and get some game time. And I think we've got one or two others that might push their way into a squad, and he'll probably develop. So I didn't see him like a Duran to that, but he's like Hadji. I think he's forward thinking. He looks for a pass, and he'll try and take a shot on. And I think if he develops like that, I can see him that sort of style. But obviously, he's not as good as Hadji at this stage.
Can I come back in?
Aye, of course, mate.
No, listen, I take that on board. I'm just saying that because I see the attributes that he's got. It's very similar to Durant. And by the way, Durant was my hero when I was a boy. I thought that he was absolutely outstanding before he got that injury. I think he's got a similar build. I think he's got similar attributes. He's driving forward. He's not afraid to go in beyond the striker. He's got a shot on him. You know, he's got vision on him. And let's not forget, I think Durant was about 16 when he came into the Rangers team. Lowry's what, 19? You know, so he's behind his development in Durant at the same age.
I don't think Durant was that young. Derek Ferguson was.
I know Derek was, yeah. I thought Durant came in about 16, 17.
You might be right. I'll just check it exactly, mate. Just give me a couple of seconds. But
do your research, Alex, before you come on here.
My research is my memory and my eye.
Durant, I mean, obviously, the boy Lowry is about 6 foot, mate. You know? Obviously, does he look it, but he's slight, but he's young. He's still young.
He's a good one. See the likes of Young King and the boy McCann coming into the team and Lowry. I think they three players could save our club a fortune going forward. They're our future.
He was 18 and a half when he made his debut.
Okay. Right. Stand corrected. Thanks for that.
Alex, it might be our future, but you'll not get the three of them, I don't think, in a playing regular in the team going forward next season. I think Lowry's got a chance, like I said, with what you've just explained and we've all spoke about, his forward thinking and all that. But he's got a chance, and I think he'll possibly get more game time, might even have a chance of playing him in the cups, you know, and try and see how it'll be. But like I say, next season, start going forward and Gio picks a new squad and what we get in. And like you say, if we're successful in this UEFA, then obviously we'll make a lot of money, and we've been making a lot of money so far. So obviously we'll be looking to strengthen the squad, and the young boys will just have to go in and compete with the rest of the squad that Gio brings. And that's just the way it'll be, and hopefully we'll see a progression.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the age of the squad as well, because obviously you've got Davis and Arfield and Jack even, they're not getting any younger, you know, so I think there will be opportunities there for the youngsters to come in. And by the way, I just wanted to tip my hat to Alan McGregor for Wednesday. This will be his 100th appearance for Rangers in Europe come Wednesday. That's some achievement, and that's on the back of no playing in the final 14 years ago. What a fairy tale ending that could be for him, eh?
Aye, Big McGregor, one of the all-time greats. Some people would say the greatest goalie we've had because of his longevity. But talking about a goalie, I think we'd all like to pass on our best wishes to Andy Gorham. Yeah. You know, he's getting through the mill at the moment, and hopefully we can get the trophy just to give Andy a lift, because it's a horrible illness. All the best to him, and I hope everything pans out.
Well said.
Here.
Andy Felix.
Yeah, well said, Ox. I mean, there ain't nobody that you don't come across that touches somebody that disease. It's a terrible disease, right enough, and hopefully, you know, whatever befalls him, you know, he keeps happy and he stays as well as he can do. There's not a lot you can say when like that strikes, is it?
No.
I want to throw questions at you. Alec will know what I asked him last night. Do you think that we'd have had all the players that we've been missing who would have hit this final?
We would have had the final.
No, do you think all the players that we've been missing out of the team and, you know, the makeshift we made to get to it, do you think we would have had all our regulars playing, we would have still made the final? I'm just thinking on the lines of there's a bond there that these players have got while the main players have been out of the team. What do you think of that one?
I think we're a better team when Morelos is playing at number 9. Peter?
It's a great question, Bandy. But Morelos brings something different that nobody else can do. I mean, Morelos bullies defenders, doesn't he? You look at the one, he boomed the boy bounced off him, the leg at Ibrox, and that set the tone of the team. I just think maybe with the boys that have been missing, it's maybe brought them more together and want to prove their doubters wrong, but it's a hard one. But I do think that still be strong. I still think we would have made it anyway.
South side?
I think Andy, when you say would we be here, I think Hollander might have made the team, but I think the way the defence has played, they've been sort of pretty good. Ruth would have probably been in and out the team, and I think Alfred, your talisman, I think with him in our team, even if we could have had him in our team now, we'd be winning this final. So I think we would have. And I think solely on the performance of Alfie up front for us, mate.
I just think my thinking was that I just think, you know, we're losing these players. It's kind of galvanised the guys that have come in as well. You know, a bit there again. It is a squad game, and you know the ultimate aim was to get to the final anyway, of which we've done. I just floated about there last night with Alec, like, you know, and I just thought I'd ask it. But yeah, thanks for the answer.
And what was Alec's answer? And I know it was a long
He
time
just
ago.
said a good question because I'm too clever for him.
No, I didn't. I said that must be Shug's question.
Aye, right, you did. You forget I was sober last night.
Yeah, very good answer, AK. I can see where you're coming from there.
I know.
I'll tell you what, that wee brother of mine gets balled up, don't he? I'll tell you. I want him.
Oxford, you realise that when you meet him, he's a banger.
No. He surprised me. What a gentleman he was. What a gentleman. He's no answering. He's in shock.
No, hey, listen, I only speak when I'm Matchday. I'll get the answer for that one.
Like Big Al, when I met Big Al, what a gentleman.
Thanks very much.
The only time I looked for Andy, I just knew he looked for the hat.
Thinking the hat was a bowler hat or a top hat.
I'll let Andy tell you.
I've not got the top hat, Al, but I've got the bowler. I've got that one.
I can see you with a Panama hat on.
I've got the sombrero came this week. The sombrero came this week. Cuban heels.
I've been told that your sombrero's peach.
Here we go. It's as orange as King Billy's tunic, I'll tell you.
So you're all looking forward to seeing Alfie playing the final then?
No. When I seen the picture of him during the week, I was like, I think it might upset the team. Just the balance. Because then we have to kind of focus everything back on Alfie. I think we've been doing all right. Is there a chance he'll play in the final? Is this what we're saying?
I never said that. You said that.
No, but I would keep the team as it is. And he's want to lump that hair off. What's he done to his hair, man? What's that all about? A badger.
He's modelled it in Southside.
I don't know. I've not seen the photo, so I wouldn't know.
There's no need to get personal. Yes. Right.
Would you have him in the team if he was fit?
Yes, without a doubt. One of our best players. I'll give him the panel. I'll give him the panel. Yes or no?
Can I ask you a question?
Wait a minute, Al.
Yeah. Yes.
Andy?
No.
Oh. AK?
If he's 100% fit, 100%.
Yes and a no
yes,
answer.
100%.
Yes.
100%, yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Big Al?
No.
All right, okay. There we go. What's your rationale there, Biggie?
Well, I think we've got there. He helped us out in the early rounds, but I just think that the team's playing a certain way. They know how to play that kind of certain way. I think if he comes into the team, it changes the dynamic, and then it maybe throw people off their game. And I think we do need that consistency. We just keep the momentum going for the 90 minutes and we come home with the trophy. I just think it would upset the apple cart a bit.
All right. Andy, what was your rationale?
Same as Big Al's. And the other thing, he's not fit enough, so why would you do that? You know what I mean? He's doubling around for weeks before it.
We play Jack every week and he's no fit.
I know, but Jack's just Jack. I can't get you an accent for that. Yeah, leave it, Lawyer. I'm 3/4 of the way down the bottle here.
Right, Southside, what was your rationale? Best player?
Well, I think Big Al nailed it when he says the dynamic changes. It certainly does. Alfie just makes it so much better up front, big man. You know, look at what he done at Dortmund. You know, and games before it, and even in the group stages, he was scoring. That's what he does. He scores in that league in Europe. So for me, Alfie, if we'd Alfie, man, I'd be telling you now we're winning it. You know, we're definitely winning it.
But
But unfortunately,
if you had Alfie in the team, Southside, would Tavernier be as high up the park?
Probably in games, because I think Gio.
So.
I think after the game, see when Gio first came in, the two full-backs never moved. If you remember, we never moved them. They weren't allowed to go by the halfway line, and he kept it like that for a few games, and then he realised it had to change. And I think the penny dropped after we were up there and we got a doing in the February. I think he realised then Tav goes forward now, so does Borna, bombs on. Basil bomb on when he's in that position, and if he thinks tactically that's the way to go on Wednesday night, then that's what we'll do. And Big Al Tav scored first just about every game at Ibrox, and he's the top scorer on that thingy. So if you can get him forward, then we'll be doing it on Wednesday, definitely. We've got to go out in the front foot, I think, you know. So I'd expect that to be bombing down.
But the dynamic no change though if you've got a Morelos up front.
Well,
we've not got that recognised.
I think
the front three would be different.
I think it was.
Look, that's all the positive. I'm just
because also you can play Joe Aribo on the right hand side.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, Peter.
No, you're right. It means if Morelos comes in, it means then it's Aribo's not to play up. I mean, don't go wrong, Aribo's doing well up there, but then you're playing Aribo more in his natural position out in the right where he can float more. He can be more direct there. Don't go wrong, he wins you free kicks in that Aribo. He played outstanding against Leipzig, but the whole team did. But Morelos he'd occupy their two centre halves if he was playing. He'd hold the ball up. But I think the team now has found a way, Gio's found a way that can bring other boys in the team and they can play different dynamics in the team. But I feel like Morelos would have to play just for changing it up and occupying their defenders, because he does that brilliantly. He's just a menace up front and he can score.
Aye, we may dream. Right. Is
he going to be fit? Do we know?
Don't know. No. Is this the biggest achievement our club have ever done due to the backstory? Southside.
It is, mate. It's 100%. It is. As you know, started the campaign and we've got to a final. We've tried to build up to it. The league was a historical moment for us getting us to 55. And what we were trying to achieve at that period of time and restore our club. We wanted credibility back in Europe. The directors wanted it. We wanted it as a support. And round by round, we've managed to get to where we're at. And if we can pull this off on Wednesday night, it's incredible. I was in the stadium in 2008, and for the amount of games I've been to watch Rangers in Europe, I just hoped one time I would see a European final. And now I'm going to be there again in the stadium, and I'm going to see it for a second time in the space of 14 years. Mm-hmm. And we really got the club moving probably for about 2016 to get to maybe this moment of getting a league title and hopefully getting better in Europe. So this is just dream stuff, mate. Like the banner said, make his dream, and it'll be the best story. It's got to be the greatest story ever told, mate, isn't it? It's got to be if we can win this. It's got to be.
PK?
Totally agree with that, Southside. Yeah, definitely. I just think for where we've came from, and back in Pedro Caixinha, bloody hell, man, 264th, I think we were ranked in Europe. We're now 34th, I think. So 230 places we've rose in just, 5 years? It's no 14 year. This is a rebuild. It's basically just been the last 5 year. And to come that far in just that 5 year with the financial constraints that we're under compared to the other big guns in Europe with the financial backing that they've got. It's dream stuff. It really is. But they're all playing for each other. I think the Jimmy Bell factor is a big motivation for the team as well. I think they lost their place a wee bit when Walter passed. I think it unsteadied the club. But I think that, as Andy intimated, they galvanised a wee bit and they learned the system. See Lundstrom dropping back into that 3, it allows Bassey or Borna or Tavernier to push on that bit, and that's utilising the qualities that they give to the team, and they're far more comfortable going forward than they're that back four that they were kind of stringent. They weren't scoring a lot of goals, they weren't playing well. Now we're scoring goals for fun. 16 goals in the knockout stages.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
Right, all right.
Okay, pal.
Right, stick to the question. It's no fair in your wee mate there. Andy, in you come.
Listen, what you guys have just said there, but for me, for where we've been, what we've done, the losses along the way, especially this season, I think it's going to be the greatest feeling for all of us. Listen, see, we don't win it. Even what we've achieved getting there and all that, it still stands for me as the best thing we've done. Well, in my lifetime, I never thought I'd say that because we won the Winners' Cup and, many good big finals and that we played in the treble winning team. Laudrup, when he was absolutely outstanding that day against the Hearts. I think on that particular day, any team that they rolled on the park with the Rangers that day, we were murdered. That was one of the finest performances I've seen modern era. But for where we've been, they wanted to Steve, man, and you don't do that to us. And yeah, for me, absolutely brilliant. I just don't, as I said the other night, you sell and all that, you get over there safely, hopefully get the trophy and get yourself back in all right, and that'll do me. That'll make me happy.
Right, Peter.
I agree. It's a massive achievement where we've come from. 14 years. 2008 and what happened to us after that. Massive achievement. It's great to see, as I've said before, I didn't think I'd ever see us getting in a European Cup final in my lifetime again. There's a question I'd like to quickly ask all of you before, if there's enough time. Are you more confident going into this final what you were in 2008? It's no disrespect to Walter Smith, but we were just hanging on in games and we're hitting them on the counter. Whereas we're actually going toe-to-toe with teams now.
We touched on that earlier, mate. South side of the start.
I missed the start of the show.
Well, you should be listening, mate. No excuses unless you know for your law, you know what I mean? South side said we'd scored 5 goals after the group stages to the final. And I'll ask you, I'll ask South side who scored the 5 goals when I get round to them. I'll give them a bit of time, right? But in this year, we've scored 16 goals. So there's where the positivity came from, yeah?
Yep.
And also, when you think back, I think that team demolished Bayern Munich in the semi-final, and we also seen that they had some special players. And the boy Arshavin, who went on to have a good career, was a wee bit special. And they ran the show in the final, didn't he? But I think we feel... And if you look at the betting, we're a lot closer than we were in Manchester.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Right, you got the answer yet, Southside?
What, you want the 5 goal scorers?
Aye.
No, I've not. But Whittaker's in there anyway.
Whittaker, Darsheville.
I was going to say him and all. I had him.
Stephen Davis against Werder Bremen.
Oh, yeah.
Aye. In the home game.
There was an own goal in that one and all, wasn't there? That same night.
Werder Bremen one was McGregor's save off the thing,
that was away, but Ibrox won 2-0, didn't
we?
And then before that, was it National Novo away in Greece?
Panathinaikos, wasn't
it? Panathinaikos. I've been there twice, but no, I think we scored the other, didn't he, Emerson?
Nacho got the goal, didn't he?
Nacho, I think so.
So there we go, that's what I reckon. I'll have a guess, but I've not checked it. Just had a bit of fun. But that's where the positivity is coming from, Peter.
Definitely. I really think we'll do it on Wednesday. I'm just confident that we'll win it. I think everything that's going on, as Andy's touched on, with Jimmy Bell, I think it's gave the players more extra motivation to go and win it for him.
Aye. I hope that, listen, you go to the park, you're representing yourself first and foremost.
Definitely.
Yeah. Big Al?
Yeah, it's difficult with the deaths of people. I don't know if it is a motivating factor. You can get a win and dedicate it to people. I don't know how much that plays into the sport. There's a respect thing there, certainly. I don't know how much that plays into the winning the game. But look, we're in a very, very good position. Got loads of fans going out there. I do believe that we're bringing that trophy home. I just think it's running on the stars. And you date for the guys that are no longer with us, like not just Jimmy Bell or Walter Smith. You date for every other. My mum's not here; she's not going to see it. She's seen the last one, so whoever else has passed away, aye, it's there. But I don't know how much that is a motivator for people. I don't know if it gives you that extra edge. Like, I think the edge has to come from within to be successful. To be, I don't even know how much it, because everything's after the fact, isn't it? Like, I dedicated to the fans. The fans were on 30. The fans are on the park kicking the ball. You know what I mean? Or kicking the other players. You've got to do it yourself. Like Big Bassey, I think he'll play an important part. Goldson, Tavernier.
I'm glad you mentioned him. I'm glad you mentioned him
really
before
good
we finish up tonight. I'm just going to ask everybody this: what is Big Bassey worth?
40 million if Stephen Gerrard wants him. I've seen that.
Right.
40 million.
AK?
I remember Gerrard buying him. At the time, he says this boy's going to be special, and now we're seeing what he actually bought. And God, you compare him to Patterson, and we get a good money deal for Patterson. And for me, he's probably developed better than Patterson now. So I think you're into at least 20 to 25 million.
All right, okay.
But can I just say there's one big difference between this squad in 2008?
Stick to the question. Yeah, Isa, right?
But I didn't get a chance to answer belief.
All right, I'll hear that, right? And I'll end up. Fox just think you us overtime. Peter, how much is Bassey worth?
I would say 30 million.
Oh, 30 million. Oh, Andy?
25 plus.
Oh, Mr. Realistic, Southside?
15 million.
Right, okay. Well, gentlemen, Big Al, Peter.
Is there a show on Wednesday?
That's a good question, mate. That's a very good question.
From Seville.
We're working on it.
Right, okay.
You'll struggle, won't you, because you're all the way in Spain, aren't you? So you'll struggle to put the show on, won't you?
We're working on it.
Oh, there's the crying Stuart Robertson, wasn't he?
Get a bean back.
We'll get 4 people away and the show goes to pot. That's no quite. That's it. Once we get commitments, we'll let you know.
I just want to say, Oxford, Southside, stay safe and you're out there and enjoy yourself and roll us on to victory.
We'll be safe. We'll be safe if we're not together when we meet up. And if you throw somebody else into the mix, it could be even worse.
By the way, Ox, Reverend Jolly will be looking for you as well.
Reverend Jolly?
Aye, Robert. The last call.
Robert, what did I say to him? I said to him, I'll see you there. I never said I'd meet him. Right.
That's how I avoided Malaga.
I know. Right, okay. AK, Peter, Andy Felix, Big Al, thanks for the call. Last word tonight, Southside.
Aye, mate. Thanks for everybody phoning in. It's been good banter and good chat. And I know we've got a game tomorrow, so I'll be at Tynecastle tomorrow. But after that, all thoughts will be on Wednesday night. Looking forward to it, going with a group of guys that we've been many a trip. So we've all got tickets. So that's the bonus part of it. So looking so forward to Wednesday night, and hopefully Rangers will do us proud and bring the trophy back for the people, mate, for all the people. So thanks for having us on, mate. I'd like to thank you for that. And just do it, Rangers. Just win this Europa League for us.
Yeah. Can I thank all the boys for joining us tonight? As I said, Big Al, Andy Phillips, AK and Peter. It's been great to hear from each and every one of you. And I thank Southside for joining us. It's been good bigging. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals and everybody for listening. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 11:15 with a pre-match show, see what the team is. And we'll be joined by the one and only JFK. Thanks for listening. And we've not got many sleeps left. Take it away, Old School Blue.
There were cheers from the crowded congregation as the light blew the mirrors beneath the stand, to the sound of the very latest music that was played by the Governborough Band. The excitement was tense, the game was starting as the Rangers kicked off amidst the roar. For the yells and shouts were just terrific when the one and only Glasgow Rangers scored. We'll support no other team but Rangers and follow wherever they may go. So drink a toast to Glasgow's football heroes. We're playing red, white and blue and Dunbar go. The excitement was tense, the game was starting as the Rangers kicked off amidst the roar. For the yells and shouts were just terrific when the one and only Glasgow Rangers scored. We'll support no other team but Rangers and follow wherever they may go. So drink a toast to Glasgow's football heroes. They're playing red, white and blue and Dunbar go. They're playing red, white and blue and Dunbar go.